Okay, seems like nobody except corporates having problems, so I think we can start and the others can watch on YouTube channel of Concrete Corporation later.
Yeah. All right. I will do it. I was trying to do it in full screen, but that doesn't work apparently. So I will do it this way. The thing I prepared is not really. I didn't prepare a lot. It's more the sales pitch I do when I go to customers, and I have a lot of pictures from previous jobs we did, and most of the times I take these pictures to the customers to tell, okay, these are the different possibilities of. Most of them are terrazzo concretes. So, and along the way, we get questions from our customers, and this way we can give them the right solution for their what they want as floor or as furniture. So that's what I would like to do then today. If there are any questions in between, don't hesitate to ask, of course. The first thing, the first picture here, and this is, by the way, my dog. This was my previous house. This is something we don't do quite often. On the other hand, it's something that's becoming more and more popular, but in the bigger warehouses. It's called a salt and pepper finish. That's where we first power trowel a floor, and then just do the grinding and polishing with resin tools. We don't touch any. We don't touch the floor with any metal tools. I suppose everybody knows how to grind and polish concrete, or maybe a small resume. At first you start with metal grinding tools, then ceramic grinding tools, and you finish with resin tools to get it to a certain degree of finish. This is the first picture I always stop. Everyone can see the pictures, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first picture where I stop with immediately because there are 5 parameters you can choose from when designing a view, designing a floor, designing some furniture, and these are easily be seen on this small picture. Of course, you have the type of aggregates that are used. In this case, we used 3 different type of aggregates: the white one, a brownish one, and a red one. Then the size of the aggregate is also something you can choose, of course, from 6 millimeters all the way up to 32 millimeters. Then the spread, we can put the aggregates closer together or further away by having other sand aggregate ratios. Then, of course, the color in between the aggregates, the cement paste, the customers can choose mostly within all the different pastel tints of concrete colors. And then the last one for me is the level of polishing, and this one is a high level gloss. But most of the floors we do, and you will see it further on in the pictures, are the matte or matte versions of polished concrete, because that's pretty popular here in Europe. This was a nice project we did a few years ago. These are stairs, floating stairs. They were just anchored in the concrete wall in the back. This picture still have the supports are still underneath, but we ground just the top of the stairs and left the rest in gray concrete as it is. This is a project we do most of the times, and residential projects. in houses, where in this case we used a normal river gravel, which we polished until 800 grit, so we have a matte finish. Not a matte, a satin finish, we call it. A matte is finished at 200 grit. You will see we had done some other floors just like this, but with a more light background. This is pretty dark as background. This is a more classic way of a floor that was next to an old castle. We did also it's still green because it hasn't filled yet at the moment of the picture, but we did also the borders of the swimming pool in this case. It's more a classic rustic view of Terrazzo, but in this case with the old castle, it was a perfect match. This picture is in it. I will zoom in a bit to show you what I want to say with it, because this picture was taken off a floor that wasn't supposed to be ground and polished from the beginning. It was a sub-base floor, a foundation floor, and afterwards the customer said, okay, no, we don't want to put the tile on top of it. Can't you just grind it? And then you see here all these lines in the floor. That's because of the way of placing the floor. They dipped the floor with a wooden dipper, and that's how the aggregates got placed all in these lines. It's really difficult for us to get a picture like that because most of the times it's not visible if we pour the floor, but here it was. So it's really important if you want to have a correct end result. It starts already with the pouring of the concrete, even before, but also the pouring of the concrete is really important to get a nice end result. This was just one in close-up. This is my place now. It's my living room. Here, the first thing I said was a salt and pepper finish. Then we have the heavy grinding, which we do the most, of course, with all even exposure of aggregates. But in this case, we had spots with more aggregates visible and spots with lesser aggregates visible. So you have a more uneven look, and quite a lot of our customers ask especially for that, to make it not like a classic terrazzo, but make it more brutal. This is another. I'm going to skip this. There are nicer pictures ahead. This one is my floor also, but in close-up. This is an entrance for an underground garage, and these are the grinding machines that we work with. This is a complete white mixture. This is precast. These are balconies. On this moment they are on top, and it was completely white. So white aggregates, white sand, and white cement. This is also a floor with a countertop. We did in exactly the same as the floor with the white cement and a normal river gravel. Also, quite a lot of the floors we have to do, they are adjacent to cellars. So in this case, we make the first step often in the same material of the floor, and we place our wood here to keep our mold and to keep the concrete in place. And when we grind the floor, we also do the first step of the stairs. Later on, there are also complete stairs. This is a hand washer, of course, completely made in one piece out of terrazzo concrete. I'm going to skip this one. This picture is in it because I will show you just 2 pictures further. When we do grinding and polishing of concrete floors, the biggest issue to do is always to have a nice finish next to the windows, and to have this nice. If you don't take precautions in front, you will have something like this. The aggregate to the border will come out, and you will have an ugly border like this next to the windows. So what we did here, and to do quite a lot in other jobs also, is we poured the floor a bit further than it needs to be, and we grind it a bit further, we polish it completely, and then when everything is finished, we just take our saw and we cut the lines that are needed, so we have a nice straight line. This is one way to do it. Another way is when we put, we also place stainless steel profiles sometimes to the windows. So we have this profile gives us the opportunity, if there is a rock coming out, we can just fill it back. When there is a mousse like here and there is no profile, it's really difficult to fill it nice and straight and close to the window. This is a matte finish. Like I said before, that's something we do most. And this, if a matte finish, you can see this one from a bit further. You will see there's also always a small reflection, but not as much with as with the higher gloss. Also, the matter the finish, the lighter the color also is of the floor. All right. This is also quite important for the people that use slag cements, is the blue coloration of the cement. And you see here it's already been touched by the oxygen in the air. Here it isn't on the upper part, so it's still blue. And it gets away after a few weeks, but sometimes in the beginning, customers can complain about it because it has all different tints of blue and gray instead of uniform gray, but it's just waiting to get the correct color. This is terrazos. We did small mock-ups. It was a renovation of an existing terrazzo in a small city here in Belgium. In this case, it's also matte finish, normal river gravel, and we did the fireplace with separate pieces. All these are still older works, floor sockets, but we have better ones coming up. This is a white cement, white aggregate, and normal sand. This is something we've seen before. This is also a restaurant in Antwerp. For the people who know where Antwerp is, normal concrete. This is a normal construction concrete here that we use to grind and polish. This is a small house also in Ghent, and this is the same gravel as the previous one, but in a smaller version with white cement as base. What we do also quite often, and here you can see it, is the shower. We have a special detail, of course, how to make it. But in many projects, we do the shower in the same of the floor without any joint lines or profiles to make different levels. This was a table over there. This is also a very special technique. It was a normal power troweled floor with a gray concrete, where they put on a top in black dry shake. It was really bad done. It was not a floor of us. Customers asked us to come and see if we could fix it. We could make it better. So we ground it, and you see on some parts the gray is coming through, and on other parts the black is still there. So it's really a really brutal effect. And after all, the customers were very happy with this view, but it's something difficult to predict in front. This is another type of floor, pretty boring, I think. But hey, they need to be there also. This is a hand washer, of course, still in construction, but here the architect really wanted to address the lines used in the panels. So not mitred, I think that's the word in English, mitred joints, but all visible lines. It was a demand of the architect over there. This is the shower in the same project, and we did also the panels in the showers with a cladding of 4 centimeters in this case. They were quite big panels. This was the stairs in that particular job, also with visible lines. You can also do it with open stairs to get more light in the stairs down, because the other one, this one, was under this one. This was an external shower we did with a small seat next to it. This is a nice picture also because it's halfway. We poured the complete patio in one piece, so on top and the wall, and here you see still the concrete skin visible, and here you see where everything was already ground away. Later on I have a picture with finished projects also. This is a classic terrazzo we did in the train station here and next to the sea. It's as you see, the classic terrazzo is more dense. It's not as rustic as in polished concrete. Well, something we do also quite a lot when we have like septic tanks, etc., and rainwater tanks underneath outside pavements. Not all customers want to see the aluminium things underneath it to cover the tank. So we make in the same thing of same concrete of the floor our own covers, and so we don't have those annoying aluminium or stainless steel borders visible. This is also floored in window in red concrete. This one we also put it on the plinths underneath the kitchen with the same material as the floor, and the floor we put brass strips as dividers. These are other plinths, another color. This is the picture I just said a bit before, that was semi-finished, and now it's completely finished. And these stairs we made, of course, these are made with the CNC machines, and they have also indirect lighting mounted underneath. Not visible, of course, now because the sun is shining, but at night it's a nice view. Yeah. Kitchen worktop. This is a normal. What we did here different is this is a normal underbuilt sink, and normally it's been placed from the underside, but we placed it flat, even with the tabletop, so you have a different type of finish to the borders. There's another outside pavement. The detail here is that for when you have water next to the from outside, to evacuate the water, we have a small 2 centimeter aggregate line here, and for better evacuation of the water, of course. I said before, when sometimes next to windows we place stainless steel borders. This time is around the column, but it's the same principle. So if we have a small aggregate coming out, because of the stainless steel border, we can still fill it up again to have a nice and clean finish. This is a normal river aggregate and a white cement. Oh, there is somebody else. This is another floor we did. Normal standard construction concrete here. These customers were really happy with the view. This is a close up. This type of floor is something we do quite a lot because it's a standard concrete and it goes with a lot of other finishes inside and outside. We did. This is also at my place. This is bush hammered concrete. This is also a way of finishing of concrete, of course. You don't always have to grind and polish it. You can also bush hammer it. It's also a nice view. Sandblasting, there's another possible option. In this case, we sandblasted the stairs and the floor, and we have an actual job now in the Netherlands where we are doing exactly the same as this one. Also here you have places with more aggregates visible and with less, and to give it a really dirty look, we sandblasted it, everything. This is a Simbat. This kind of rock is also something we use quite a lot. It's called Simbat. It's like the river gravel, but a white version of the river gravel. And this piece for the fireplace also was made on site. It's not precast. This is another job we did with the same Simbat, an outside pavement. We had some time needed for all the molds. It took quite some time. This is a more traditional terrazzo where we made the sink and the bath and the kitchen. Oh, it is someone else. Oh, okay. So here we did. This was not in one piece. It was in two pieces because it was too long for the CNC. But it's quite a nice seam. You have to look at pretty close to find it. We did also the bath. This is mitred. It's not easy to do, but it's possible to do, of course. It's a traditional steel bath with complete cladding in terrazzo. This is also outside my place, still dirty, but just to show for the water evacuation if you pour inside and outside at the same height, and that there are possibilities to do that. Small things we did once. We had this one before. This was also a nice project we did with a really cool stair. The combination of just wooden plank concrete with a pretty white floor with stainless steel strips, and the stairs were also made in corner elements in the same material as the floor. Also, the kitchen tabletop was made in the same material. And also here, because the wooden plank structure was all the way down, we put also the same stainless steel strips to the wall as plinth. So we didn't have the isolation foam visible to the borders, but it was just a shadow line with a stainless steel line next to it. This is also the stairs from the bath I showed a bit earlier, also in corner elements. This is a way to to finish floor sockets. And this is a floor box of floor sockets. And this is, it's called, we have to install these quite a lot. They are called RP as brand, as a floor socket. We always place these ones afterwards. We first put the floor completely, we grind it completely, we finish it completely, and then when everything is finished, we take it out and we cut the exact size of the floor sockets to have a nice finish. Another hand washer. This is another one with just the regular structural concrete, which we do quite a lot, as I said before. And you can see it finished. It's easy to combine it with wooden window frames, steel chairs, etc. So it's really easy to finish other objects and colors together with it. That's why it's so popular, of course. The close-up view, black, something we also did once. We have to do another one pretty soon in black. It's not really my favorite. It was also not our best floor we did, but anyhow, the customer was quite happy with it. Here you see also we did also the stainless steel line next to the floored windows. And the next one is all white, black and white. This was a pretty special one because we put in glass, green glass afterwards, and it was a bit in waviness, more from the outside and waves in the inside with more or less a green glass visible. It was a pretty cool project. In this case, we did the tabletop on site because it was too difficult to make it in precast. And also here we put on some green glass. But this was all made directly on plates. So completely white with green glass. And this is also normal concrete. This one was a really big house here in Belgium, in Brussels, with a more brownish style of concrete. Here, these stairs we did massive. It means these are no corner elements, but it's our massive stairs of 16 centimeters of concrete. They are quite heavy, but also it gives another feeling if you have such heavy stairs. Also here we put on brass strips as dividers. Yeah, quite a lot of the same project. A small detail because they didn't measure out correctly the height of the windows, so we had to put on a small detail, but it really looks cool, I think, with a small detail now. This is the white floor from a few minutes ago. We did also the shower. This one was sandblasted with another picture of that. This one also. This one is a normal river gravel, as we do quite a lot. And here it's combined with a more blackish style of windows and furniture. These things are made with CNC, of course. The floors are made on site. This is a winery we did. There was a top of furniture to put all bottles of wine inside. This is the terrazzo where I showed you the bath a bit before. This is a floor finished after a few years, and we did also some small interior elements like the kitchen. And the floor. Also here the same floor socket as I showed before. Quite some of these of this job, so I'm going to skip a bit. This is from the same job site where we did also the hand washers. The detail here, most of our customers don't want any plug, just a small hole, that's it. But these are all made with the CNC, of course. We have seen it before. These are stainless steel divider strips. We've seen before. This one, I showed this picture a few weeks ago, and there's a complete bath we did, the sides and the top, and the stairs also. Oh, this is not the correct picture. This picture is from a job also in Zaventem in Brussels, where we put a complete floor, and this inclination, this is stainless steel, and these stairs, these are precast, and this is all cast in place, but these stairs and these here are precast, here also. Okay, bye-bye, Mark. So these stairs are precast, as I said before, and here also the top of the floor was the first stair. So here's the floor, and we poured the floor back down and to grind the first stair, of course, the same with the floor. This is the rest of the floor. Okay, this is the last one. I have in my small sales pitch I have, and a small resume of the things we do and how we try to sell them to our customers. So, if anyone has a question, just feel free.
Thanks, Koenraad. That was quite, well, it was quick, it was quite informative. I have a quick question over here on this image. If you see right below the fire extinguisher, there's a gray sort of mark here.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what that is? No, next to the fire extinguisher. Yeah. Oh, that's a shadow, or is that?
I think it's something from the sun, because you have here also the whiter spots. I think it's the light that gives that impression.
Okay.
And Mark has left the meeting, but he has a question. He's sent a question in the group. He said that what is the thickness of the floors, and how do you get so level over a long distance? And can you put heating underneath floors?
Yeah, the most thicknesses are 10 to 15 centimeters. Almost every floor we do is with underfloor heating. That's quite often we do that. And how get the floor so level is because the way we place and pour the concrete. It's not a difficult technique, but it's a special technique to pour and place it. And we also never use a power trowel, for example, and we just pour it with a screed. Sometimes a bull float, but most of the times only the screed, and that's it. And we leave it then for a few weeks.
And I wonder how you grind the vertical sides. It must be very difficult to grind the vertical places in the site or in your factory, I don't know.
Yeah, we by hand, and we do that most of the times by hand, of course. The last time we used a robot. I think I put the video or the pictures on in the Telegram group to grind away the first layer, and so we only have to do the final touch, the fine touches by hand. But yes, it's really heavy work to do. Yeah. my guys are not happy if I say, "Oh, I have another swimming pool coming up."
And you said that you use CNC for cutting. What kind of CNC you use?
Oh, we have several. We have
You cut the concrete piece or you cut the mold?
the concrete piece. We pour big blocks. And with those big blocks, we process further, just like natural stone, to the things we need. We get plates from it, or smaller blocks, and then these smaller blocks are processed with the CNC machines to the hand washers from the pictures.
Yeah, I think Krishnan from India do the same job like you, almost same.
Yeah, sort of. Yes, this is a lot of what we do.
90%, yeah.
Yeah. So Koenraad, you also mentioned, see, some of those tables that you had, right? Which some of them you said were CNC cut and some of them placed at site. What kind of support do you give? Firstly, are they reinforced inside, and do you give it? I mean, what kind of support does it stand on?
Mostly, all our concrete is of course glass fiber reinforced. That's standard. Most of the times we cut panels at 4 centimeter thickness, and then we don't need. If you don't go too wide, it's quite enough. It's sturdy enough for self-supporting. And if for the rest, it's mostly supported, of course, by the cabinets underneath it, and the one. Where was it? The white one. This one, of course, is there's steel support underneath it a bit further, not always all the way to the edge, but this is an extra invisible support, of course.
Yeah. And so just to go back to this, these are just wooden or plywood that's below this, right?
Yeah.
And that holds the weight of, there's nothing, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I hope I gave you some ideas on different type of finishes and possible color combinations.
It's amazing. The kind of work you do is something that we aspire to do. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it was nice, but do you only do this grinding floors and stairs, and you don't do anything else in your company, I mean?
We do also
I mean regular finishes.
we do also in the industrial, not so much, but for example, all dirty floors we make the new shiny floors from. But we don't do that often. We are more in the residential area, and what we do also quite a lot is washed out concrete. In this case, with the Hebau products, we use quite a lot. And then the push hammered concrete is also something we do. This is bush hammered, and this is washed out of also. We have to do 500 square meters of this type of finish in a few weeks in a next to a castle here.
Yeah. And the bush hammer, do you do that with your floor grinders, or do you have a separate bush hammering machine?
The floor grinders with this one.
Okay. Yeah. So these metal strips that you mentioned, right? These stainless steel strips and some of these brass strips that you put. How are they? Are they like L profiles, or are they just like straight strips? How thick are they?
Most of the times they are L profiles, 50-53, 40-43, 40 by 40 and 3 millimeter thickness. And sometimes we also use, because it was quite a lot of things we had to do, just straight strips, but most of the times it are L strips. Those are quite expensive. If you have to place strips, I ask always 150 euros per running meter. It seems quite a lot. They only cost like 30, 35 euros on material. But why do I ask 150? Because it's all hand grinding you have to do. If you have a profile like this, you can't do it only with a machine. You always have to do it by hand also. So it takes quite a lot of time. And then there are small rocks coming out, so you have to refill it and make it nice. So profiles are not the easiest thing. So I don't say we need 150 euros, but we still need quite a lot of budget to be able to finish those profile lines on a nice way.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, because if you had colored concrete floors, like you showed some red floors and so on, or black, when you have to grout it, how do you do it? You again mix the cement with the same red pigment, or do you have a batch kept aside, like your dry mix? How do you do that?
For the grouting, most of we do is the latex grouting with the acrylic grouting. And when we have rocks coming out next to the profiles, etc., we use polyester glues to glue in the rocks.
Sure.
Okay. Did you finish, bro?
I am finished.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Koenraad. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, really great presentation and lovely projects. Each one looks really, really great. So we also do a lot of concrete floors, and I wanted to know, from what I hear, your screed thickness is mostly around 50 mm, right?
Yeah.
And this is on top of already, done base concrete.
Underneath, most of the cases with this is isolation. Yeah.
Okay. So when you do a 50 mm screed on top, how much, what is the spacing for joints, do you have regular joints, or and if so, what is the space, between each joint, and how many, square meters do you pour in a day?
Yeah. For the jointing, if you follow the books, it should be around 25 till 35 square meters per square. So 5 by 5, 6 by 6 is
Okay.
most of the times the maximum that is advised here. On the other hand, if you do houses, and there are other things to concern, of course, when you have from smaller to bigger parts, those are lines we cut. Also under doors, of course, we often cut lines. And on the other hand, sometimes we take a bit more of risk, because it's not because you cut a line, you're also sure that the crack will follow those cutted lines. You can cut here, and the crack there are feminine cracks, I think, most of the times, because they don't listen ever, and they just go the other way. So I advise most of the times to take a bit more risk, to leave, to not put it completely full with cutting lines, but when we can take a bit more risk and have a nicer aesthetic view, not to cut lines, and only on the most critical places of cutting the lines. We just keep us depth. And how much can we pour a day? Last time we did 2,000 square meters. So
okay, that's a lot. Yeah. So, and another question. So, you mentioned glass fiber dosage, right? So, what kind of dosage do you do of glass fiber? And is there anything else like polymers that you mix in the concrete?
We use the OS Warning 36 millimeters glass fibers, and then we dose 5 kilograms per cubic meter.
Okay. Yeah. And any polymers, any other admixtures you mix in the concrete?
In 50 centimeters, no. The normal superplasticizers, naphthalenes, polycarboxylates sometimes, but nothing from latex, etc. No. For the smaller ones, the 2 centimeter, the classic TERRAZOs, yes, we use latex, but the 15 centimeters, no.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So we can finish if there is no question more, and you can ask more in the chat group.
Of course.
Go
Always
ahead,
happy to help.
Yeah. Thank you a lot, Koenraad. You help the people a lot in the chat group also. And thank you a lot for this webinar. I'm very sorry to be late, but it was not in my hand.
Yeah, we say it's in the hand of God, but in your case, it's in the hand of Allah, I guess.
So, if you record it, can we publish it in YouTube if there's no secret of your company?
Yeah, I'll have to look where it's been recording. It says it's recording, but I still have to look where it is now.
No, I see that you are recording. There's no problem. Seems like there's no problem.
Yeah, but it's not because it's recording. I still have to find it somewhere on my computer because I'm not the best computer guy around.
Thank you a lot, people, for joining.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you, Arjan, again for organizing this. Thank you, Koenraad.
Keep safe with all the Corona times. All right.
Yep, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, everybody be safe, especially people in India. Take care. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.